Everyone's talking about chicken. Chicken's a popular word. But anywhere you go, you're bound to find a chicken ain't nothing but a bird.
You know, when we're talking chicken, we always go to Cap Calloway. He's one of our leaders in the chicken industry. 790-2040 is the phone number. We got Dennis and Merrill. They're with Tucson Clucks. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Get a little closer to that microphone that we got at Radio Shack.
Good morning.
Thank you. And
so, CLUCK. What does CLUCK stand for,
This
guys?
is a cute little acronym. Go, Merrill.
It stands for the City Living Urban Chicken Keeping Society.
Nice.
Wow, you guys got some time on your hands.
Lovely. So we were just talking about the current city ordinance is you can have up to 24 chickens in your domestic area, your house, and there's a 50-foot setback that you can't be near a wall or your neighbor.
Right.
And the problem is that 50 feet doesn't apply to many households because there's yards are smaller.
Most urban properties are about 60 feet wide,
Okay.
so there's really no place where you can put a coop that it will be 50 feet from every property line plus 20 feet from your house.
And you want to change that ordinance, and you are working with council to do so.
Yes.
Are you having opposition? Does it look like it's going to go through? What are you seeing?
I think council is getting pretty well educated, and it looks like it is going to go through.
Who's your champion on the council for chickens?
Paul Cunningham.
Okay.
Big chicken fan.
He's a chicken fan.
Loves eggs. He likes it all. Good. So what brought you to this passion? Why this? Did you have them and get bit by a...
No, I'm a vegetarian and I don't eat chickens and I don't eat eggs.
Really?
Right.
You just saw you're going to stand on this hill. This is your it. This is your.
Well, it started because I'm a public health. I'm a retired professor of public health.
Okay.
And the county had a grant to prevent obesity by making policy and environmental change. And many people, the food bank was involved in helping people get started with gardens and chickens and all of that. And they asked me how to get around the laws because the laws were prohibitive. And I said, well, we can't get around public health laws, but these other laws seem a little restrictive for no good reason because chicken complaints from code enforcement are 1% of all code enforcement complaints.
Okay.
So there is no real good reason to keep them out. So we started this in 2010, and here it is, 2015.
5 years later.
Dennis, why are you in this chicken war? What's going on?
Well, I grew up in rural Arizona and kind of on a farm sort of an environment. We had chickens and goats and that sort of thing growing up. And for me, I mean, that was just part of my life, having a responsibility every morning, going out and getting eggs and taking care of animals and stuff like that. And now I live in suburban Tucson on a less than quarter-acre lot, and I have 2 daughters. And I wanted my daughters to be able to have that sort of same experience. Well, we can't have a farm because of where we live, but the best thing that we could do is we made some garden plots. We grow fresh fruits and vegetables in the garden plots, and then we decided to get chickens so that we could get their eggs every morning. And I could teach my daughter, going out and collecting the eggs and feeding the chickens, and letting her sort of experience that sort of responsibility that I grew up with on a sort of a smaller scale. It's the best that we could do.
It's like a backyard chicken fantasy camp. Is what you're doing back there.
Sort of, yeah.
Now, do you name these chickens?
Yeah, we do. Our chickens are pets, so they all get names, and
which means they're only for eggs, then.
Right. Yeah, we can't. Yeah,
no hot wings.
Remember the old 4-H? You'd never name the animal. Right?
We have a couple freeloaders who don't give us eggs, but because they're my daughters and they have names, and so they get to eat for free and enjoy the.
So, how big is your family? 4?
It's my wife and I have a 3-year-old daughter. Alyssa, and then I have a year-old daughter, Catherine. And
so how many eggs can a chicken produce? How many do you need to have a family? I mean, do you need 24? Do you need 3?
No.
What's the magic number for chickens?
So there's this thing called chicken math.
Of course.
You can't
ever play chicken bingo?
If I knew I was going to hear the word chicken math this morning, I would say, get the heck out of here, Dennis.
So
right here.
You can't just have one chicken because they're social animals.
Of course.
So you have to have at least 2. And when you buy them, one chicken might not make it, so you always want to buy 3. And if you're going to buy 3, you might as well buy 4. And so it kind of escalates to this.
Before you know, you got 24 of them.
So, but
I'm
really,
a hoarder also, so I understand.
For a family of 4, like our family, we eat a lot of eggs, especially now because they're free. We have 9 adult chickens that lay eggs, and those 9 chickens give us between 6 and 8 eggs every single day.
Oh my gosh!
So, and that's enough eggs.
So if you get to the point where like I got too many eggs,
well,
who wants some eggs?
All of my neighbors get free eggs.
Sure.
So they love our chickens.
Sure.
So they all get free eggs. We give them to our families. You know, my parents, my in-laws, we give them eggs. And
here comes that egg guy again.
Yeah,
here comes eggs.
Everybody's always bringing us empty egg cartons, hoping that we'll fill them up for free.
Awesome.
Especially now with the price of eggs and the egg scare and all that stuff.
Can you notice the difference in the taste from homemade versus?
Oh yeah. Because backyard eggs, they don't go through a processing like commercial eggs do. They don't get washed in bleach, and they don't have a lot of the feed that we feed our chickens is a lot better, higher quality. Our eggs have a third less cholesterol, 10% more protein, more vitamins, minerals, like the essentials in the eggs. And the taste, it tastes a lot different than a commercial egg.
And they're not in an egg-laying sweatshop.
Right.
They're in a loving backyard with a
Right.
barbecue and a patio set, and they got to taste better. Let's do this. Let's go pay some bills. We're running late. 6:47 in the morning. We'll do one more segment with Dennis and Merrill, Tucson Clucks. Say that acronym again, Merrill. It's so good.
City Living Urban Chicken Keeping Society.
I love it. Love it. If you have everything you ever want to know about chickens are coming up next. If you have a question, 790-2040 is the phone number. wakeuptucson@gmail.com. Check them out on the old Facebook. Wake Up Tucson, 10:30 The Voice.
Voice.
Wake Up Tucson with Joe Higgins and Christy Simone on 1030 KVOI, The Voice.
But we can't.
Right?
That's why he's the master over there, Ed. Good job.
6:51 in the
Chicken
morning.
dance. Very good, sir.
We're on with Dennis and Merrill, Tucson Clucks. We look, in this first hour, we've talked sausage, bacon, and chicken.
Right. And fish.
And fish.
We covered the little
that's
fish
true. I
in
didn't even think
Nevada.
about it.
Yeah.
Holy cow. We're going to get to your phone calls, 790-2040 in a second. I do know some people who are doing this urban chicken thing. And one of the things that they have told me on why they feel it's important, especially because they live maybe like kind of north of the university, kind of maybe a little closer to Grant area over there, is Tucson has a horrendous poverty problem. And they kind of feel like this growing your own, whether it's eggs or, is kind of part of helping that. Because we know that the food bank is overblown with demand.
The number was 300,000 or so folks a year come through the food bank for their food.
And we're a
million population.
Is this kind of part of the thing? Have you heard about kind of the poverty side of this in relation to maybe as a way of combating that a little bit?
Yeah, actually, Tucson Clucks has partnered with the Community Food Bank of Southern Arizona and local businesses to offer classes for new chicken owners through the Community Food Bank on weekends, evenings, to kind of educate them, to help them learn the ins and outs of owning chickens. And if the law passes, we have plans for it in the spring, putting a group together, partner with the Community Food Bank to go into these, to help these families that may be lower income families, to help them build backyard chicken coops and backyard gardens and kind of get them up and running so that they can grow their own food. Having 6 chickens in your backyard and having 50 square feet of garden space can save the average family almost $100 a month in their grocery bill. And that's huge when you're a low-income family. And so that's what we're trying to do. But we can't do any of that until the city makes these changes.
So you can't eat raw milk from a cow. It's against the laws. Any FDA things going on with you?
No, actually, and Arizona law, you can grow your own chickens. You can sell your eggs without a license. Up to 500 dozen a year, I think, is the amount.
Okay.
Something crazy like that. But
thank goodness there's someone regulating that. For 500 dozens.
For all the members of my group, it's pretty quick, especially with the price of eggs nowadays, upwards of $6 a dozen in some cases. Every time our friends, family, coworkers find out that we're growing chickens for eggs, I mean, it's like suddenly we have friends that we hadn't heard from in years coming to us. Hey, I would like to buy some eggs.
Our good friend Emery Nicoletti, who owns Metropolis Salon, he has a chicken coop at his place with a bunch of chickens. He owns the old historic Roy Drockman house, so he's a He actually locked himself in his own chicken coop one night.
He did, right?
It's a long story.
It was like $5,000, wasn't it? His chicken coop.
Yes,
he's got air conditioning.
He's got it all. He's got the
Right.
heaters.
Right.
He's got a chicken spa.
Right.
I mean,
We don't know him. We
He's-
should
You
find
need to
him.
meet him. He's
you should,
an
actually.
advocate.
So do I want to know what the commercial chicken farmers do with their eggs? I mean, they
sell
hold them
them,
up and they do they
Clean them.
microwave them? Like X-ray them or something like that to see what's going on, or
They
what-
candle 'em.
Or they just
Come on, Ed.
they used to candle them.
In your more typical large facility commercial growing operations, chickens are housed in huge warehouses, tens of thousands of chickens in a warehouse. They lay their eggs. The eggs immediately drop on a conveyor belt. They're dropped in a chlorine bleach bath that bleaches the eggs and sanitizes them, and then that bleach soaks through the egg. So every time you eat an egg, you're tasting just a little bit of bleach. And then they're just processed in a manner that's less than healthy, which is why Salmonella E. coli is such a big deal with commercial eggs. Not saying that it's not an issue with backyard eggs, but we don't have the bleach. We don't have our eggs. If you take an egg from a chicken in your backyard, that egg is coated naturally, and it's impervious to bacteria or in any sort of
Hey, I got to get one more question and then a couple of calls. Opposition. Who you guys run into?
Well, there are a number of people who do keep chickens who don't understand that there are current laws on the books, and they're
Right.
getting away with it because no one is complaining. These laws are only enforced if someone complains.
Right.
So those people came out to a series of public meetings last year in 2014 and thought these were new rules that government was putting on them, and it's just a way for
Libertarian chicken owners,
Yes,
right? Got it.
right. And they weren't. We tried to tell them we're loosening the rules. We're not strengthening the rules.
And then I guess you said a couple of ladies from something called the Infill.
The Neighborhood Infill Coalition has opposed this from the very beginning. And so they're just, there are a couple of women who claim to represent a lot of neighborhoods, but when you talk to the neighborhood presidents, they don't know anything about what's going on with the chickens. So
We've heard that story
That's
before.
shocking.
When it comes to small
Do we hear that?
We got to get number one shareholder Terry on the line. He's got a question for you guys. Terry, what's up, amigo?
Wow, that's fast. I want to thank you for your show because this is probably the best show this year.
Well, we're covering chicken issues and bacon, dude.
Well, this is
And eggs.
This is the number one radio station, and we all are making farmers happy as we speak.
What's your question, buddy? I'm running out of time.
Chicken cacciatore coming up for lunch. I want to say this. What's the average age for a young hen or whatever age?
Good question.
Continue to lay eggs, and we're going to fix an egg omelet right now.
Good
Thank you.
question, Terry.
Thank you, Terry.
Put bacon in that thing.
About 4 years. Most
Okay.
laying breeds, about 4 years. You
All
get
right.
4 years of good quality.
Now you
eggs
know
out
what
of
you're getting when you go buy them, right? So you want to have
Yep.
only females, I'm assuming.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, and even with the changes, we understand that nobody wants a rooster in their neighbor's yard. So roosters are
They're the loud
never
ones.
going to be allowed.
Yeah.
Right. So it's always hens.
I remember I knew I moved to the west from the New York City area when I'm playing El Rio Golf Course like 18 years ago. This is par 3, and as I'm about to tee off, there's a rooster going off, and I'm like, where the heck am I? I said, welcome to the West, baby. So, all right, Tucson Clucks. Check them out on Facebook. What do you guys have an agenda day? Are you on an agenda coming? At the city council?
Yeah, the city council will be voting in November? Or
In December 8th, I think it's going to be. It's tentatively scheduled, so I don't want to.
After 5 years, too. That's crazy.
It's been a long time
That's
when I go look back
crazy.
at my notes.
The city's always looking for money. They're scraping for
Right.
dollars all
Yeah.
the time. So, I'm sure they might want to tax you like 3 cents an egg or something like that.
No. And in fact, the city, I can't tell you how helpful the city, the people at planning
zoning.
and what are they called?
Zoning.
Planning and zoning. They're called. I can't remember their name, but anyway,
Development Services.
Jim Mazzacca has been. He's the acting director right now. He's been fantastic through 4 years. We've learned together. We've gone out and talked together. They have been very supportive.
Hey, these two neighborhood ladies that are having a hard time with your process, want to get them on the air and we can talk about it if they're up to it. I mean, if you're,
It's up to you if you
Love
want.
to have them come on and explain why they're holding this process up for 5 years, where everybody seems kind of into it.
It's an egg debate. That's what I love.
It's that gate.
Marilyn Dennis, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And like you said, you guys woke up this morning. You didn't know you were going to even talk about this
Right.
today.
If you're going to have a Pop-Tart this morning, oh man, shame on you.
All right.
It's omelets and
The power hour of the Bacon and Eggs edition of the Wake Up Tucson show is coming up next. Wake Up Tucson, 1030 KVOI, The Voice.
Side of life. Oh, Always look on the light side of life. Always look on the bright side of life. Come on.